This is Damon Stevens with Finn Wealth Builders, and today is Tuesday, October 12th, 2021, and this is Stock Market Update for our trades of the day. So let's get right into it and take a look at what's going on in the market. Looking at the market here, you can see Dow Jones was down 0.34%, NASDAQ down 1.4%, and S&P 500 down 0.24%. So another slightly down day. These are days I typically consider flat, and it definitely was flat. It was a little more challenging trading today, unless you could find some of the stocks that were on the move. So a little bit challenging. The morning was great. First half hour, end of the day was pretty good. And then after hours was probably one of the better times to be trading. But looking at the heat map, you can see overall the market was down. FANG stocks are suffering today a little bit. Tesla, continues to do well. We'll talk about that one. Now it's, one that we've been trading for months and continue to have on our list every day. And Nike also did well. If you look in the world as well, it was pretty mixed across the world. And China, BABA pulled back just a little bit. It's had a nice little run. You see overall, the China's red. So the question is tomorrow we're gonna have another slightly red day. I think we broke through some critical levels this today. They could take the SPY down further down tomorrow. If you actually look at these charts, you can see it was pretty choppy through the day, but then we ended on a low, and then you see a little bounce on the Dow. It looks like they tried to bounce, but after hours, there was a slightly pullback on these. So, seeing this weakness here as far as from the open to the close, makes me wonder if we have another down day tomorrow. Now, if we do, typically, what I've seen with at least index funds, it seems like you usually get maybe 2 to 4 days of one direction before you have an opposite direction. So if we do have another down day tomorrow, then the question will be, do we have enough weakness to continue pulling us down, or are we going to pull up? Now, Feds are talking tomorrow, so we should get some information tomorrow. They could possibly move the market either way, so just be careful. It could be volatile tomorrow. So we could see some pretty good swings. So we'll take a look at that. As far as the scanner, NTRBW was the big one. Not a lot of movement. This is a really small stock. In our XP was another one. This one I did trade. But let's go ahead and get into some of the charts here, take a look at what was going on. So in NTRW, see here, you got a nice gap up. You can see here that you had an entry, low 145, high of 384. You had a nice pullback here to support on the 20. So you'll see on these, usually they pull back to the 20 or the 50, and then they bounce up again. So this gave you another ride here. If you missed the first ride, you're able to get in just under $3, take it up to over 4. And then you can see it's back here to support right at this little gap that we have that was created this morning. So if we can bounce off this gap tomorrow morning, we might get another ride out. This might not be a one-day wonder. I don't like it's below the 50, but I do like that it ended above the gap, which means it did not collapse and close across that gap. So going to look for a continuation move. If we do continue, we'll see if we can get back up towards this 426. If we get beyond that, then we have this trend line up here, kind of marks out where we could possibly stop again. So going to look for a continuation move. So this is on our list tomorrow. The next one is GWH. This one was a good one. This was a good trade today. You see we had a gap up here. The low down here was just 840, high of 2892. Killer. These are the ones we look for. So huge move up. So you can see that you had a couple times to get in here, even if you missed it on the entry. $16. Had this nice little consolidation happen at $21, and then you could possibly got in up here, kind of where it closed out. But there's plenty of time to get in here and grab some of this. You can see here that it's pulled back here. I didn't put my trend line is actually down here on this last breakout. You see here, right on the 50. We're not quite there, actually above that. I can put another line here if that just helps. Really looking at these candles, we're right here. So can we bounce off of that and move up? Because we're right between the 20 and the 50. Looking for a continuation move there. It might come down and bounce off this 50 around 21 or 2050 first. So just looking for the price action first thing in the morning, see if we get another move on that. PSA was another one that we grabbed a little bit of today. That one had a little bit of a gap up. but you see this nice long ride. You had 301.51, you know, it rode up to around 310. It's consolidated for a while bit, right off this 10, bounced off, took a nice rocket ride back up to 313, and then pulled back here, not quite back down to this last breakout area. So gonna look to see, you know, I think in the morning, again, we could see a little bit of a pullback here. See if this will pull back here, bounce off the support, and give us a nice run back up to at least 313, if not higher. So that's on our short list tomorrow too. Costs had some good news. You can see here, we've been on this downward trend, right? This downward slope, right? You can almost see a triangle here. So we kind of came up and bounced down, and we've been just kind of riding down here. Consolidated, pull down below that line, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the day, we got this, you know, today we got this spike up towards 1971 or $20. So that's where this line is right here, this bottom of this triangle. So looking to see if this is going to make it run back up to 24.67. Not sure if it will, but that is a nice long breakout bar. So we'll see if that continues and maybe gives us a run on that. So going to be watching this one as well in the morning. OCGM, you know, it continues to have spikes. You can see, you know, basically since June, you've got all these little spike ups. So it's given us a multiple day ride on these, but it had recently pulled back. You can see that it found good support here around on this 200, around the 673, and then it spiked up yesterday, and then we gapped up and then spiked again today and up almost to close to $10. It pulled back a little bit. You can see the highs here. There's a support line here. So if it does pull back, possibly in the morning to around this $9 range or a little bit below, see if it'll find support here and bounce back up and see if we can get a rocket right up to 10. I was hoping it was going to make it to 10. It did not, but it was a nice little pop. So watching OCGN for another run. So lots on the short list tomorrow. So it's going to be challenging to watch all these in the morning. But you know, I got a couple of screens here dedicated to watching my watch list. So I got to keep an eye on that. SunPower was another one. Seen a nice move back up here. Chased up this breakdown, huge breakdown candle. We've now completed it, spiked it, and then came back down, still down just below it. So we'll see if that can continue to move. So this is another option play as well for SPWR. So that's my short list there. Then I have my ongoing list. Oh, my earnings chart disappeared. Well, I'm going to take that one out. I don't know what happened to it. I did have a current one in there. Wednesday and Thursday are my lists for after hours for getting those. So I'll fix that. Apologize for that. I didn't realize that got reset for some reason back to September. So that's weird. But here's another one, Bros. So not sure if anybody's traded Bros. Bros gave us an opportunity the other day. It popped up here basically from $32 to $62. It's been kind of consolidating back down, and then we got this change in momentum, and we got this ride from basically 43 up to, you know, almost $49. Today it kind of pulled back and kind of was flat. Looking for see if this can break 49. Gonna look to see if we can get a continuation play back up to $60. It could just play in here. If it does, I'll take off off this list if it doesn't do anything. But you know, I saw some action here. It had waited. It's been a couple weeks here, so just want to see if this guy gives us another play like it did before. Netflix gives a nice run up. Netflix has been giving us a run for several weeks. Kind of peaked out here, pulled back, around the 20, and rode right back up to new highs. So we pulled back again the last few days. We have a support line here. It looks like it touched it today. See if we can bounce off this, which was this prior high, and see if we can ride this back up. If it breaks below this prior high and starts to go down, then we got support back here on the 20 at 608. So looking for some momentum there, but good move today on Netflix. Give you a ride if you got somewhere in there. Nike also is ramping back up here. It's above the 20. It's right at the 100. Still got the 50 above that. Got this gap play. So that's what we're looking for tomorrow, to see if we get this gap play, see if it'll go up and try to close this gap, since it's kind of pulled down and it's right there. See if we can run this back up to 159 and close that gap, possibly 160. So we'll be watching that on Nike. And so you can see here we got prices all over the place. So there should be a trade in here somewhere for everybody, regardless if you have a small account or large account. Tesla, was great today. So we had this low of 791, high of 812. We talked about trying to break that 800 level and hold it. You can see we kind of broke it here and pulled back. We broke it again, pulled back, broke it again here today, and it pulled back, but didn't go below it. So that's what we wanted to see. And it continued just to kind of grind up all day long. Pull back, it's on the 50. That's okay, that's 50% retracement of this candle. That's normal. And support stayed on 50. So tomorrow morning, looking for a continuation here. Tesla, I'm expecting Tesla next to kind of break out from this level here, at least go now to 820. If we can keep the market going, 820 is the next goal off of this. But this will give us a play, unless it gaps up in the morning, should give us a play off of this 50 up further. So looking good still on Tesla. Moderna, it's been flat for a week. We have a gap up here to fill, but it's just sitting here flat in this channel. So as long as it's flat there, just kind of monitoring it, but not doing any trading on it. NVAC, same thing. It's consolidated. This kind of follows Myrna. So just kind of leaving those on our list, but not trading them. Mara's pulled back. It's at a double top here, pulled back a little bit from that double top today. Trying to see if we can get some momentum. It could start to pull back down here and then make a double bottom. There's a possibility down here at the support level of 30. If it kind of ramps back up here and breaks 44, it'll be on the trade to trade it up to 51. So right now, as long as it's chopping in here, probably not going to do much with it other than wait for a breakout, either to the downside or the upside. NVIDIA gave us this nice long run, pulled off this trade line. And we're just right here, just been consolidating here for a few weeks, and not sure what direction it's going to get. It's trying to break resistance here at 207 to try to break up into this channel. Just has failed, so it's below it again. But we are above the 100, right between the 50 and the 100. So don't know when NVIDIA is going to play again, but with the rest of those, it's just kind of sitting there. We're just kind of monitoring it. So Bros is an opportunity. We talked about that one. Netflix, Tesla, we talked about all these. So let me hop over. I got out of order here. So the dollar here, you can see the dollar came up, it broke resistance here that we've had here for a little bit, about a week and a half. It held it. So we're going to see if this can start to round back up here. It's at 94.50, so it's 95, 96 could be possibly on the list. The more the dollar goes up, the higher risk we have. So the market could be pulling back here further with the strengthening of that dollar. On the VIX kind of pulled back here. It's still kind of staying around here about this 19. If it bounces up above that 20 or above this trade line right here, we could possibly see continued pullback on the market. Watching this really carefully, it's at a really sensitive spot here. You can see here you almost have a wedge here that it's in right now, and so it's looking for breaking out either to upside or could fall back down to this lower line here. But right now it looks more bullish, so I'm really concerned about that one. So for the market, you see here with the SPY had this nice little pop up here, found resistance and pulled back down. Now it touched this bottom support line we have right at the 100 moving average. If it breaks below that, it could possibly find support down here where it did before at 428. And if it breaks that, now we're going down to like 425. So kind of looking at what this action is, it's looking weak to me with this pullback here, but the moving average is arcing over. We could have a pullback, the rest of this week or at least for another day. So just be careful out there if you're trading. Triple Q same way. It's folding down here. We're right at this support line at 357. If we break 357, then 354, 352 is on the list. So be careful on that. Semiconductors, same thing, weakness. And a lot of this weakness, there's a lot of reports. I think this hurt Apple and some others, but they're talking about chip shortages again. And so I think that's having a huge impact on the semiconductor space. Financials pull back as well. It's on the 10. So we're seeing, the markets are staying pretty well close together with each other. So it's good in the way that that where the market's headed. Bad in that the market's pulling back here. So if you're not prepared for that, or you haven't locking your profits, either on your short-term portfolio or your long-term, just keep that in mind. On the energy's pulled back again for a second day. It's kind of just hovering below this trade line. You can see that it was below here, at it here. So hopefully that support line can hold and we can bounce off of this. But looking weak right now. Gold's consolidating still under that 20 moving average. Silver, same thing, consolidating, so no direction on that. Bitcoin, it peaked out here at around that 57,600 and pulled back here, retrace a little bit back to this prior high up here. So we'll just see if it can hold this and bounce back up, or if it gets weakness, it could pull back here, and people could be locking in their profits. Trade lines clear down here though, around 50,000. So just keep that in mind on Bitcoin. On Cardano, we added this one. See here that we've been on the support line here, and now here, and almost here, and again we touched it today. So hopefully this can continue to be support. If it does, then we can continue to ramp up here, and if we can get over this 2030 level, then we can hopefully go back up towards $3 would be the goal. If you're in SHIVA, was consolidating pretty much at this point. I took most of mine off just to kind of hold it. I want to make sure we can break this resistance level again. So for now, I'm out most of it. I got just a tiny piece, just holding on to some, but for the most part, I take my profit all out. So just waiting to see if we can get a bounce off support, break resistance here, or break support. This would be a short or stay out of the trade. If we get above this 3,200, then it's to go long again. So that's our trading. Continue to trade responsibly. Make sure that you are locking in your profits along the way, and just be safe out in this marketplace. And continue to subscribe to our channel and like our videos. And everybody have a great night. We'll update you tomorrow night on how the market went, but expect possibly a down dip, and then it could rally after that. Or if we continue to get bad news from the feds, then it could possibly roll over and we could continue down lower. So just be careful out there. Everybody have a great night.